Have you ever felt helpless, powerless, like you're not in control? Maybe you feel worried walking home alone at night. And it shouldn't be like that, but unfortunately that's the case for a lot of women, and it doesn't have to be like that. Now, if that's not you, you feel confident about all this, you're good. This is probably not for you. But if you don't, just stay with me for a second here. Now, I actually do know a lot of women who are fine with this, who somehow think they can handle themselves, and they probably can, and they live in the same environments, they deal with the same kinds of people, but they're not on edge because they deal with people and situations in a different way. Now, what is that? And the thing that they have is not fighting skills, because a lot of them never did any martial arts training before. Now, I had a martial arts school in Australia, in Sydney, Australia, for 20 years, but your safety cannot be dependent on fighting skills. It just can't. It's just too unrealistic, and it doesn't have to be. Now, let me tell you a little story from my own life to illustrate what I mean. So I was about 8, 9 years old. My brother was there, he's 1 year older. My dad was there. And we were walking through some main streets first, and then we were walking down some back alleys to get to my dad's work. That night we couldn't sleep, so we went with my dad to his work. And on this one particular street, this guy came towards us. Skinny, mid-20s, t-shirt, jeans, carrying a plastic bag. And he walks towards us and then past us, and now he's behind us. So my dad says to my brother, turn around, see what he's doing. And my brother turns around and he says he's turned again. He's walking towards us again. But keep in mind, he's just walking towards us. He's not running. He's not threatening us. Maybe he forgot something at home. But my dad then grabs into his inside pocket. He pulls out a little Swiss Army knife. He opens it up and he shows it to a guy like this. And what do you think the guy did? Well, he just turned around and ran off, as you would. And that was pretty much it. But so, if you hear the story like this, you may think my dad's a bit crazy. Well, maybe he is, But 2 days later, we get up in the morning to go to school. My dad's up making breakfast as always, and he's listening to the radio. And there's a breaking news story. There's been 5 stabbings in King's Cross, the red light district of Sydney, overnight. And they gave a description of the guy, and it sounded like that guy. And my dad was, man, I'm sure it was that guy from the other day. 2 days ago, it was him. And it was. They caught him 3 days later, and it was him. Think about that. Now, the thing is, when I had my martial arts school, people come to me to learn, they want to learn knife defense, but we handled this without knife defense, without fighting, without much trouble at all, right? And you can do that too. Now, you may think, you had a knife. No, you could have handled this in a different way as well. You could have run away. You could have knocked on someone's door. You could have got on your phone, confronted the guy in a different way. All sorts of things would have worked. But what a lot of people do is nothing. And nothing is the worst thing you can do. Now, even just turning around puts you in a much better position, because immediately when you turn around, he knows that you know, and that makes you a harder target. And predators want easy targets. But the thing is that the biggest problem for people is that they don't know what the right thing is to do. Should they turn around or not? Should they say something or not? Should they be loud or quiet? Now, I can put it to you that those 5 people also knew that something was going to happen before it happened. But they either didn't do anything at all, or they did it too late. And that's the problem. Now, when you talk to a person who can look after themselves, you may get some really good advice, like be more confident, be aware, stand up for yourself. And that's great advice, really. The problem with that is that most people don't know what that means and how to actually pull it off. How are you going to tell a shy person to just be more confident? So firstly, you got to understand why it's so important to be more confident, right? So what a lot of, say, insecure people will do is avoid conflict by not engaging with people and trying to hide, right? Because they think it'll somehow make them hide, but it actually does the opposite of what they're trying to do. And if you don't understand that, you're going to keep doing the same thing and it doesn't work. So at first, if you want to be more confident and you're not like that already, it's got to be something that you do. Not something that you are, but something that you do until it becomes a part of you. With awareness, be more aware, completely misunderstood by most people. A lot of people that I talk to think they're very aware. They can read people in situations if they're in danger or not. But they're just walking home and they're on edge. They're looking over their shoulder. That's not awareness. That's not awareness. You're just causing yourself unnecessary stress, and it's unhealthy. But if you really understood how it works, you would be relaxed, because you know that if something happens, you'll be notified, and then you just deal with it, because a hunch or a suspicion, gut feeling, or a fear, a feeling that something is wrong is a signal for you to do something about, so that feeling stops. But for most people, it's a state. It's just a state. They walk out the house at night and they're already on edge because something could happen. That's not awareness. If you're really aware, you're relaxed, you're good, you're fine. Okay, like setting boundaries, standing up for yourself is just about knowing when to do it and how to do it appropriately and effectively. Most people don't know how to do that, and that's what this program is about. Look, I like to compare self-defense to driving. When you drive a car, there's accidents on the road all the time. People die on the road all the time. But if you hear about an accident down the road from your house, do you get scared to jump in the car and drive? No, probably not. Because you know how to drive, you know the road rules, and you know that your safety on the road is largely in your hands. Sure, something could happen, but to a large extent it's in your hands. Self-defense is the same, only that people don't know the rules. They don't know what to do. And when you finish with this program, you're going to know exactly what to do. No matter who you are, no matter what your state is, you're going to know what to do. Now, this program is about much more than just self-defense. Now, who wants to worry about their safety all the time? You want to let that go. So this is about being more confident, assertive, and determined in everything that you do. It's about who you are. It's about getting more of what you want, having better relationships at home, at work, in your social life, wherever. Because you're more effective at it. You can handle yourself because you know that. And now you're more free to do what you want, to live your life the way you want to. It's about letting that go. It's about relaxing about all of this and really stepping into your power. Because that's what you're here to do, right?